Hi, class. Got this question here from Unit 4, Homework 1. It's problem number 9. Um, Basically, what this asks you to do is to create a confidence interval around the population mean using the t-distribution for the given information right here. Before we begin all this, let me do a quick plug for a video that I created that walks you through this very process. And let me go here. Let me go to the home page of our class. There's a video here, an announcement titled Review of Confidence Intervals. Click on that. It's a video that I created. It walks you through how it's a PowerPoint presentation, but I show you many examples, how to create a confidence interval, how to find the critical values for both using the Z normal distribution table and also what we had to do in our problem here for number 9, the T distribution table. Really what you hopefully you've reviewed that, because what you end up finding is the process is the exact same. It's just a different table. Okay, so let's go back to our problem here. We're told here that our level of confidence is 0.99. Remember, that's the same thing as a 99% level of confidence. A mean of 13.2 and a sample standard deviation of 3.0 with a sample size of 6. Now, of course, we're not going to do this exact same problem, but we will do something very similar to it. One thing you'll also want to do, if you haven't already, is to review the problem, the videos that I created for problem number, let me see. Hold on just a minute. Show you how to do the t-distribution. Let me see what that is. Problem number 7. Problem number 7. I made a video to show you how to do the t-distribution. So what I'm going to do is let me go ahead and go to the t-distribution so we can show it, but let me create a new problem here so that we can have something to work with on our own without doing a graded problem. So let's suppose that let's use the following values. C equals 0.9, X bar equals, I don't know, 26.3. Standard deviation, sample standard deviation of 2, and then a sample size of 5. It really doesn't matter. We could pick any values, but it's just something to work with here. So how are we going to do this? Well, what you need to recall, and that's why I really want you to look at those videos, is because the whole thing here, when we're trying to find confidence intervals, is what we do is we take our sample mean, we subtract from it the margin of error, and then we add to it the margin of error, E. Now, what is the margin of error? Let's come over here. That is found by doing the formula T critical times the sample standard deviation divided by square root of the sample size. Now we have S and we have N. Great, we're off and running. The only thing we don't have is T sub C. So how are we going to find T sub C? Well, that's where this comes into play, is you need your level of confidence. And because we're using the T table, you also need your sample size, because you need to find the degrees of freedom. So let me copy and paste this right quick. I'll pause the video briefly so I can copy my values here so that we can do it. So bear with me just one moment. Okay, so I'm back. Let's go. So we're at this point now. The thing we need to do, I copied my problem. So what I need to do is find the values of T sub C. So what I'm going to have to do is take you over to the T table, and let's do that. Because we need to use that, we need to use the information to help us find what our T critical value is going to be. Okay, so let's just sort of a quick refresher of what we have. Is we're told in my sample problem that I'm working, at least, is we have a 90% confidence interval and we have a sample size of 5. Right. Okay, so hopefully we reviewed the other videos. The key is to find the T critical value. That's what we're in search of trying to find here. What is that T critical value? So come over here to your level of confidence, take your level of confidence and subtract it from 1. So 1 minus C here with the C of 0.9 gives us a value of 0.1. Because we're dealing with a confidence interval, all confidence intervals have to be in the two-tail column. Find the value of 0.1 in that two-tail column. Boom, there it is. Now we come over here to our sample size and you find the degrees of freedom. The degrees of freedom is always n minus 1. So in this case, our degrees of freedom is 5 minus 1, meaning that our degrees of freedom, oof, it's an ugly F. So degrees of freedom is 4. So go to the 4 column and see where it intersects. Right there. That's the T critical value, 2.132. 2.132. Let me write that down for my purposes here. That's the value we need. That's our T critical value. So let's go back to our prior page. And let me retype the problem because I had to erase it to go over there. So we had, we had C equals 0.9, X equals 26.3, S equals 2, N equals 5. That's the problem we are working here, different from the graded problem here. Okay, so what we're doing is we're trying to find the margin of error. We have to apply the formula T critical times S over the square root of the sample size. And so fill in our values. We just found the T critical of 2.132 multiplied by S of 2 divided by the square root of 5. Break out your calculator, do the calculation. I'm going to come off to the side and do my own calculation. So I get 2 times 2 divided by square root. So I get the value. Page is a little too far over. Okay. I get the value of 1.9. I'm going to round it to 1 decimal place. Why? Because that's what my problem tells me to do. So 1.9 is my E. Remember, the whole point of all this, our journey started with the idea that the confidence intervals are take your X bar and subtract E, take your X bar and then add E. Okay, so now we're ready to do that. Now that we have E is equal to 1.9, let's do our calculations. So we say 26.3 is our X bar, remember, minus 1.9. So that gives us what? 24.4. And then we come over here, 26.3 plus 1.9 gives us 28.2. So these are our two values, 24.4 and 28.2. Those would go in right there. Those are the upper and lower bounds of the confidence interval. The whole key is being able to apply the marginal error formula. And then the second key is, can you find the critical value? To find the critical value, you take the level of confidence and you take your sample size and go to the T-table and find the value of 2.132. Plug in your values, simplify the process. So I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye-bye.